Apple Watch first generation versus Samsung Gear Fit2 coming up right now. Let's go. So what is up, guys? This is Nick here from Everything Tech, helping to master your technology, and welcome to the Apple Watch first generation versus the Samsung Gear Fit 2. Now, why am I doing this video? I know one is a fitness tracker and one is more of a dedicated smartwatch, but the reason I'm doing this video is because I actually had the choice between these two. This is actually my girlfriend's, Apple Watch. She let me use it for this video, so not my Apple Watch here, but I decided to go with the Gear Fit 2 over this for one reason, and that's because it does have the fitness features. But let's explain to you which one might be the better fit for you. So, the Apple Watch is only compatible with the iPhone. The Apple Watch first generation does have a 512 megabyte of RAM in it, so it's not incredibly fast. It has a single core CPU, the Apple S1 chipset, and it does have a 205 milliamp hour battery here for the Apple Watch first generation. It has a 1.5 inch display here, and this is the 38 millimeter edition here for the Apple Watch, and it has 340 pixels by 272. So AMOLED display here, the only kind of AMOLED you're gonna see on Apple products until we get to the iPhone. But with watchOS 3, it did speed up things quite a bit, so you can hop in between things pretty easily here now on the Apple Watch first generation with its latest OS 3. So if we go to About, you can see, let's go down, you can see version number 3.1.1 or 3 here on the Apple Watch first generation. Yes, it is. So you do get a lot of the same features here for these Samsung that you will get on this Apple Watch here, but the Apple Watch is going to come in at under like $175 here if you decide to get one, and you do get that 7000 series aluminum here for the Apple Watch, and it's a pretty durable little package here. Also, the bands are adjustable here, which you're not going to get on the Gear Fit 2 here like you will on the Apple Watch. But one issue with the Apple Watch is that you don't have, you don't have compatibility with Android, so you have to have an iPhone to use this guy right here. And overall though, it's a pretty solid device. The battery life is not so great here on the first gen Apple Watch, but it will get people through most of the day. So like I say, under $175, the Apple Watch first gen. But what if you're thinking about saving a little bit of money and getting this $129 smart wrist action? Make a mile worth. This is some smart wrist action right here in the Gear Fit 2. You're gonna get a curved AMOLED display here with Samsung's. It looks like a Samsung UI on it. I'm not exactly sure the name of the UI on here. It might be Tizen, it might be a spin-off of Tizen, but if you go to the right and the left, it's a very simple user interface that allows you to track your runs. It allows you to track bicycle riding, stuff like that, as well as your steps all day. If you scroll over more, you can add stuff. You also can add alarms and a couple of other things onto this guy right here on the Gear Fit 2. You can add a few things. You can have a heart rate monitor. You can test your heart rate, which I found it to be more accurate here on the Gear Fit 2 than you do on the smartphones. Like, the accuracy is better. You can also track your water, caffeine levels, and things like that, and you could easily shut it off just like putting your finger over the curved AMOLED. Let's do that one more time. Okay, you're not gonna work now because we're trying to demonstrate. Okay, there we go. So you can see you can do it that way. So going over back into the home, we can see that if I hold this down, there's also plenty of, different clock options for the Gear Fit 2 band. There's a ton of watch faces here, and you will receive calls from the Gear Fit 2 as well as be able to answer them from the Gear Fit 2. Also, you will be able to receive messages, emails, and notifications right here on your wrist. And it is a curved design, and I find it to be, it's a very comfortable design to use day to day with this Gear Fit 2. Now, the Apple Watch can be a little bit heavy on your wrist depending on who you speak to, but overall I found the Apple Watch to be quite a pleasant, comfortable feel as well. So what do you get on the Apple Watch? You get the crown. You don't get that crown over there, but you also get the touch interface. You get that there on the Gear Fit 2. So the Apple Watch is more of like bringing a smartphone companion to your life, whereas the Gear Fit 2 is more of a smart fitness tracker. So I think if you're an active person between these two, it's an obvious choice. Go with the Gear Fit 2. The Gear Fit 2 also should give you better battery life. It does have a decent amount of battery life. And in terms of the specifications for the Gear Fit 2, you're gonna get a 1.5-inch curved AMOLED display here. And this can run on any Android phone running 4.4 and higher. So if you don't got a phone with 4.4 and higher, you're like in the dinosaur age of Android. But you know, there is people out there that are, you know, using 4.4. So if you're using 4.4 or lower, do not get the Gear Fit 2. It's not going to work for you, but you might want to update your phone if you're into this newer tech like this. So you do get 4 GB of storage here on the Gear Fit 2, as well as a 200 milliamp hour battery. That's down from the Apple Watch's 205, but the Apple Watch does use more functions. So I do find the Apple Watch to be a little bit more battery draining than the Gear Fit 2, whereas the Gear Fit 2 is more of a, how would you say, it's more of a wrist thing that you're just going to go out and run, you're going to go out and walk, you're going to forget about it. Whereas the Apple Watch, you can install ESPN, you can install a bunch of applications and things like that. So it can become quite of a hassle sometimes with the battery life on the Apple Watch. But you know, I noticed that if you're using the Apple Watch as a watch and you're not, you know, playing around with it all day like you would on your iPhone, the battery will last just fine here. But what's nice about the Apple Watch is the experience is very iPhone-like. Like you can even take pictures from here. You can call, you can make calls and talk on the Apple Watch. So there's a little built-in speaker here on the Apple Watch, which does allow you to make calls on the Apple Watch. So that's pretty nice stuff there, if you ask me, for the Apple Watch here. Now, in terms of the build just feels better for the Apple Watch. There's just no way around it. We got 7000 series aluminum. This is like a plastic with a wristband right here. The buttons are tactile enough here for the Gear Fit 2, and the sensors are really strong, and they do come with a large bands or small bands, so they do have wrist sizes for you. Some people said that the Gear Fit 2 is too big. Even all the sizes are too big. So you do get the Samsung branding here on the Gear Fit 2. But overall, like I say, you're going to get a little bit better battery life here in my experience on the Gear Fit 2. You're going to get a much more advanced experience for the, you know, Apple Watch here. But, you know, having the most advanced experience on your wrist isn't always what people are looking for. Sometimes people are looking for something quick and easy, simple, and just can track their steps and do a few little things like that, track their water, set an alarm, and take a couple notifications here and there. And they don't want to get Apple Watch because it's just a little bit too complex, or they don't really want to get in the Apple land. And I think if you're one of those people, the Gear Fit 2 is going to suit you well, and you're going to be able to get this product new for cheaper than this product used. So yeah, that's pretty much my assessment here. Now, the Gear Fit 2 is also IP68 certified, so I'm able to take a shower with this. You can dunk this in the lake. You can take this anywhere with you in water, and it's not going to be damaged. Whereas you need to get the newer, you know, Apple Watches to even have any kind of water resistance, as the first one is not water resistant. Yeah, you can get it a little splashed up with a couple of, you know, drips here and there, maybe in the rain a little bit. But the Apple Watch, I would not recommend you take the Apple Watch in the shower with you, not the first generation anyway. But like I say, if you're wondering about either one of these, the performance of the Apple Watch is still okay here in 2017. I'm gonna do should you buy Apple Watch first generation here in 2017, so stay tuned to the channel for that, subscribe for that. And yeah, which one would I go with? I would go with the, you know, I would honestly go with the Gear Fit 2 between these two, just because it has a faster processor, it has better battery life, it has a curved AMOLED display, which just feels kind of cool to use, honestly. The Apple Watch does have the cool feature of the phone dialer here, and maybe I'm just being biased because this is my product and this is not my product. But let me know what you guys think. Which one would you pick between the Apple Watch first generation or the Gear Fit 2? And yeah, let me know that down below in the comment section of this video. This was Nick here, helping to master your technology. And Apple Watch first generation versus Gear Fit 2. That's the end of this video. Have a great day wherever you are. Be sure to be well. I will catch you all in the next one, and peace.